Okay, know your symbols. What do I mean by that? Know your symbols because then you will know how you can create and manifest your highest destiny. Um, and why you want to do that is because this is when you're gonna live happily ever after. And that doesn't require any attachment or anything. So you will be completely independent and really means completely self-liberated from emotional, financial, or any other spiritual or mental dependency on others or any system. So basically, you get out of the system because you become completely free. And so basically, that's the goal. And somebody asked me a few years ago what is actually still is one of the symbols. Um, and I said, it's on my phone, and this has been like that for years now. And since my path began, my spiritual path and the knowing thyself path, and the self liberation path. And so I said, it's the lotus. It's the lotus. This is it. So the lotus is growing out of the mud. And, it's just you are becoming this wonderful, amazing person that you were always there. It was always in you. It's within you, but you did not know you had this limited perception of yourself, who you were. You tried to live out all those sub personalities and which were created through traumas. And so basically, eventually you clear all that, all of the distortions, and then you coming clean, you being purified. So the lotus is my symbol, and because it grows into this beautiful flower, so using all those things, as a stepping stone, all those challenges or so-called distorted problematic views, thought patterns, etc., whatever. So you dig yourself out, basically out of the coal, and you find this diamond within you. And this was one of my symbols. The other symbol was the symbol which I have drawn the other day, which is, my profile picture on Facebook. Um, and so basically, that is the soul's monad symbol, which is with the colors of turquoise and all those higher chakra colors. And basically, um, exactly this one, and you can find it on Facebook. So it's not in color, but yeah, here it is. And so turquoise is soul chakra. Pink is the 13th chakra, which is out of the body. It's higher up. And then also, the purple and the blue, our third and Aina chakra, above. So all those, because with it's with these higher chakras, because this is how I receive, the messages of my higher self, which I have been writing down for 7 years, and then communicating that because I have everything got to do with communication. This is why I'm this very communicative person in that, because I will be the one that's communicating out a lot of those informations. And at the same time, also, when I have realized, and I'm just going to show it right here, to realize the downward triangle, which is right here, is the soul, the spiritual, here rationality and the dogmatic spirituality, which this is how unawakened person functioning, not listening to the intuition allows him or herself to be led by rationality and dogmatic spiritual distortions. And then a shift happens, through the awakening process. And this is when the shift happens, and then the upward triangle where soul will lead, which means intuition will lead, multidimensional ESP, using your ESP, extrasensory perceptions, whatever it is, clairsentience, clairaudience, whatever, just name it. And then the rationality, the rational, the distortion, overactive mind, crap, plus the spiritual dogmatism through traditional spirituality, which really contained a lot of distortion, and this is going done. It's cleared. It's you have insights. You discovered everything through your self knowledge and everything, and then it shifts, and then this is who will lead your life, and this is the life that leads you to a magical life, to your dream life. And basically, just short, okay, this symbol was never for Jewish people. It just they started using that in the end of the 1700s. It was never meant to be their sign. However, they know, certain things. Maybe that's why they chose it in that sense or whatever when it became, because they know exactly the wisdom of this whole thing. And so basically, this is another plus, flowers or flower of life, and there are a few other symbols. I'm very attracted to Egyptian symbolism because I have, and a lot of us, had all kinds of different roles in Egypt, in ancient Egypt. I'm talking about because that's when you remember past lifetimes, which I have conscious recollection of that memory, many lifetimes, and especially those ancient ones where we had been priestesses or pharaohs or whatever, the wife of a pharaoh or whatever, your father was a pharaoh. It doesn't matter. And so you remember even cooperating with um, so-called extraterrestrials. I had all those memories coming up, all the galactic stuff. And so basically, it's like, okay, all this symbolism, and on your path coming home to your uh, original blueprint, which is a soul's essence without any human distortion, without any human limited consciousness. So you're becoming, and you're coming home to your infinite consciousness. You're coming home to your original blueprint, which is before you've been distorted in any way and creating soul fragments by traumas. So you clear all that, out of your morphogenetic field, everything you put in there, your fair share of cleansing of your astral realm, really meeting your primal fear, the reptilian in you, and then dissolving that fear to be able to become fearless and trigger free. And so those are the things, really that allow you to come home and higher and higher, higher. You're really making, like you gain those insight, which is like really doing the inner work. And through your insights, you're gaining wisdom, you gaining clarity, and all this is really just really bringing you all the beauty, juicy you that you are. And last night I had symbolism show up in your dream state a lot. Your intuition heightens, your ESP heightens, all of the channels that you're receiving messages are coming in all kinds of ways and in all kind of form, and really start seeing the signs, really really when miracles become really everyday commonplace, and it's like seeing the synchronicity, noticing synchronicities in your own life through which would be very insignificant, meaning outside it might be insignificant, but inside it's going to be very significant for you. And so trusting those guidances that you're getting from your guides, yourself, your higher self, your oversoul, whatever, anybody that is helping you from the other side. They could be, your ancestors, people who passed away, whatever, they're helping you from the other side. They're really, really, sending those messages, but you need to be able to receive it, and you need to really trust those signs and guidances that you're getting and receiving. It's really taking you back to self-trust and self-faith. Uh, External stuff, it can come through external stuff, but you're not really getting lost in the illusional phase, meaning believing in your eyes and in your ears, but rather what's behind it, what is unsaid. You start sensing energies, you believe what you're sensing, you believe what those emotional sensations, you know how to interpret it, you know how to translate it into meaningful meanings. Mean that's how you learn how to interpret them. You write it down, you notice that you are aware, you're self-committed, self-partnering with yourself. You keep your focus on self, feeling your body, because your body senses everything before your mind could even translate it into anything. And you just really identify all those feelings, all those emotional, sensory signatures, imprints, whatever that comes regarding another person. So you're not driving blind anymore in the field of illusion, but you're really using all of your gifts. And you, if you're an intuitive empath, if you used to be an overwhelmed empath, but now you're coming and becoming this integrated empath and really solid in her beingness or in his beingness. Now you start using your gifts for the benefit of yourself, and at the same time living your joy, saying yes to your joys and yes to your no's. Because when you know something that is a no for you, then you bravely make that choice, you risk it, which is not a risk anymore, but it is a risk for people who are not paying attention to their intuition, which is, as I always said, highest educational system built in all of us. But you need to train that muscle. You need to believe your own guidance, and you need to be brave enough to use them for your own benefits without guilt, shame, or anything like that, or self condemnation or self judgment, which other people might want to put up on you in their own ignorance. So basically, use healthy discernment, which is not judgment. So please don't be misguided and fooled by the conditioning of old spiritual crap, okay? Traditional crap, which did not understand, did not freaking, and delete all rules, all dogmatic ism, anything that isn't, doesn't matter. It's a prison for your mind and for your soul. So you have to transcend above that. And so it doesn't matter if it's Buddhism, it doesn't matter if it's whatever ism, it doesn't matter because they all have limitations. And so this is why traditional spirituality is not for you. You are way ahead of them. You're a pioneer. You are recognizing certain things, going beyond. This is why you're getting the information from your higher self. You're channeling, you're journaling, you're whatever you do, you write. Maybe you're getting it through visual art, maybe you're getting it, you're painting or whatever, certain symbols show up. And so know your symbolism, uh, be able to interpret your dreams. And last night, the white buck, the deer showed up with his antlers, and so it had certain messages here for me. And so know all that, learn how to interpret your dreamtime interpretation. And what I use for myself, I usually record my dreams as I would say it to a friend, and then when I listen to it back with my ear phone or headset or whatever, uh, I also, it's like insights, like, oh yeah, okay, oh, the way I said it, the word I used. And then, of course, I remember the dream, the emotional uh, underlying emotions in the dream, because it has its messages also. So if it's joyful, if it's fearful, it is, there are a lot of clues that you can pick up. And so all those are symbols for you. They are all serve as a guidance system for you. And really it is a matter of trusting those symbols, knowing and really be able to decode for yourself. Sometimes, if I don't even need to decode because they're coming complete sentences, and it tells me, there's the information, there are some so-called warnings. It just says, okay, stay aware, be aware, because, these things might come in your thing. It's not that something credible or dangerous or whatever, but you just have to pay attention to self, to your body, what you sense, what you feel, believe in your intuition, say yes to your intuition, appreciate your gift, appreciate what it teaches you, appreciate the guidance that you're getting from the other side, and really believe in you, and don't be led astray by other people's talking, and like you believe in the appearance of somebody. They might appear as a very loving person, but you somehow sense that their intention is not really, uh, you know because they maybe just don't like how strong you are. They want to break you down because for some reason they look at you as a, I don't know, a little snack, for their agenda. I don't know, for life energy, life force energy, whatever it is they want to use. They maybe want to hold on to you because they see that you kind of like you have all this gift, all this stuff, and they just want to whatever. I mean, they are jealous people, or they are people with not pure intentions. And why? Because in tensions, they have some tensions within them. So they basically, all this stuff. So start really seeing behind whatever that appears. Pretenders, especially pay attention to pretenders, covert narcissists, disconnected people. Narcissist means unawakened human and not connected to his or her own source of energy and life energy, and they're just very limited in their consciousness, and whatever. So, but their agenda is doesn't matter. Don't start investigating their agenda. Just believe your sensory perception. Keep yourself in that sense, um, uh, in your self care, meaning become your best friend. Don't chase friendships outside of yourself with people who are disconnected, who did not do their inner work yet, and their feet is still dirty. So don't allow dirty your white carpet, okay? And when people marching. So when I had like dreams when they were marching into my house, I did not invite them, and they all wanted to march into my house, which means the house of my inner kingdom, and my space, my consciousness, my body, my everything, whatever. And whatever their intention is, it doesn't matter. They just maybe little moths, that fly to your light. They feel that there is something, but they don't necessarily want to learn. They necessarily don't want to appreciate your gifts. They just want to take it. And so basically, it's just you just stay in your little corner, in yourself, in your own light, really filling you up, fill up your own cup, and whatever overflows is for those who really appreciative of your gifts, who really see you like in the avatar, because they are just people that don't see you, and they just want to use you for their own agenda, which I don't know, maybe it's on their sexual addiction or whatever, and just don't get lost in that thing. Don't start chasing something outside of you. Stay self-focused self. You are the focal point. You're here for you. And of course, your gifts are beautiful. You can share it with those who are really appreciative of them, but not with those who really don't. So, like if you are in consultation work, or you're like a healer, or you are somebody like that, or a consciousness facilitator, whatever, um, you know, people who appreciate your gift are willing to pay for it because they know it is only energy. Money is nothing else but energy. And if they're not paying for your time or for your knowledge or not appreciative, they just come with a victim card and begging and all this shit, or they praise you because you might be putting more energy out there without anything. They don't want to give back anything that is not reciprocal, or they're not reciprocating what you're giving out. So the balance, won't be there, because then immediately you start like getting out of balance. So this is very important, to really stay present in self, present in my body, because my body picks up the signs before I could even come to the, because like we're people like us, who are very um, spiritual, tend to be very open, and a lot of the times we are could be subject to exploitations, and it doesn't matter what it is. It could be sexual exploitation, it could be something else, it doesn't matter. So really really just keep your space to yourself, have your space, have strong healthy boundaries. uh, when you sense somebody's energy, and if it feels bad, feels weird, you recognize what it teaches you, and then you can move on. And sometimes what it teaches you is to let go of it, okay, before you get involved in it. So a lot of those things really help you on your path. You will be guided by soul, by ESP, by your clairaudience, clairsentience, whatever, anything, whatever that you have, where your strongest link, uplink. And this is trust yourself. Trust yourself. So as you know, there's a lot of false thing here, a lot of pretenders. They're coming on as covert narcissists. When you feel the discordance in their energy field, it doesn't need any investigation. I learned it on my own, big lessons, huge lessons. Really stay aware, be aware. And so when in dreams, for example, I had dreams with those like they were stealing and really taking me apart, my all of my stuff, because they were like, there was nothing that they wanted to give back. In that sense, they are not reciprocating any energy. It is just takers, takers, takers. So givers have to really come up with really, limit and remember, it's your life, it's my life, it's my terms. I decide what is beneficial to my well-being and what is not. And no is a full sentence. And people who don't have the tendency to accept your no's are really deep covert narcissists, no matter how cute or how nice they seem, and no matter how much you love, because you basically love everybody, like we are very loving creatures. We kind of love everybody, but also my old tendencies were wanting to fix everybody, wanted to help everybody, wanted to assist everybody, anybody that came into my reality, and not appreciated my own gifts in that sense. So we don't do that. We say how, when, and with who. We pick, we really select, okay? So some people who are not willing to help themselves, you let them go, you bless their journey, okay, whatever, and just let them go. And you just know whose your tribe is. And who are not appreciative of your gifts and they don't see you wholly and fully because you don't see yourself wholly and fully, this is when you kind of be led astray. So stay self-aware, self-committed, and vigilante for your own sake. And so basically just know everything around you, even when you know what's your pure, in that sense, goal, not really an outside goal, but that goal is all about yourself. You want to experience yourself in your wholeness. So that requires self love, self care, and self complete and full self acceptance, which also allows you to accept them to be who they are. But that also means I might not allow you to come into my reality, and I just let you go. So the moment I realize and I feel in my aura when somebody is kind of burning my aura, I know my sensations, which are showing me I have nothing got to do with these people. I recognize what they're here to make me realize, and then let them be. And so, sometimes the learning is in the letting go, and that's it. And that was the whole point of the whole meeting or encounter or whatever that you name it. It doesn't matter if it's a potential lover or your parents or whatever, people that you have outgrown already, and or just let them go. Maybe you cut airtime with those people to their bullshit broadcasting. You no longer beat the drum with them, with their old stories, because they never want to learn. They just, want to empty that shit in your little kingdom, in your soul. So don't allow them. Limit your time with people like that, because peace is worth more than anything else. And if that is, like, because you don't feel it, maybe the first time, and then they start sweeping in, and then, by the time you just notice the fuck happened, I have this pain in my third chakra. What's going on? Because somehow you gave away your power for some reason, weird reason, very covert, very, and it's very. Sometimes they have different ways to do that, to suck you back in, and this is what you have to recognize of yourself. Not that you blame them for anything, but they're just not. They don't know. They don't know. A lot of them have absolutely no idea about themselves, and they have no idea what they're doing because they're so ignorant to their own self knowing, that how could they know? They just don't know. And they seem like, okay, whatever. You need to know because you are the one that is conscious, you are the one who is aware of yourself, and this is why you create those boundaries just as much for yourself as for them in that sense. So self-discipline uh, is worth more than after feeling, you know, you know sorry for yourself or start badgering yourself, why was I not smarter? So also you have to take out all that, and regret will not show up anymore because you were aware, you know what choices you have to make, and the choice is always you, your well-being. This is primal, this is the first relationship you got, and that is the most important one. Okay, so symbols are really telling you a lot of things, and at the same time stay aware and be present in self. I am presence, and feel and know and identify and notice, and then make the choices based on reality, based on accepting that they are not gonna be maybe on your path, and maybe it is for you to leave them and let them learn on their own, and really meet other people who are not as conscious as you are, and let them have their fun with other people. And you're not losing anything, you're gaining yourself, but you're gaining your awareness, and just stay vigilant. Do not fear them, there's nothing to fear, because fear does not allow you to see clearly, so don't go on that route, because the lower you allow that those people sweep their crap into your life, by listening to their shit all the time or whatever, slowly but surely, it's like you get more confused again, and then like you're lowering your frequency, and those frequencies bring in all the ingredients that is on that level of frequency and on that level of consciousness. So don't lower your energy to anybody ever again. And you see, this is the false programming that society and family start spewing. You have to listen to me, you have to, yeah, and you have to give me your time and energy, and no, I don't have to give anything to anybody unless it is my own joy, and it is in really me being fully empowered. And based on that, appreciation shows up as a mirror from the other side. And if appreciation does not show up from the other side, it's not your level. Okay, and then you just really fill yourself up by feeling you, appreciating you, and the gift of invisibility. And really, it's like I have in other videos, it's like very short ones. It's like introduction. If you want, you can order, the um, the social and living without social and family conditioning, and how to fill yourself up completely, and what methods and all that use, or the invisibility, like really starting to see yourself, your whole self, your wholeness, holiness, the first time. And so there are a lot of other stuff, that is possible. And there's just incredible audio codes which are decoding and really helping you to dissolve all those conditioning underneath. So whatever you need, it's right there. There are packages that you can order, uh, you know, which contains a 1 hour consultation. So whenever you're interested, you know where to find me. You will see the link below. And so there are those things, which really help you on your path. And know your symbols and work with the symbols for yourself, for your own benefit. Know that. So thank you for listening. This was it for today. Bye.